Yeah, what's up, man?
All Things Hip Hop, episode 11.
Leave comments on the YouTube as
Leave
usual.
comments, some read them shits.
So I said, hello, can't go from the T.F.O. And she so I said, so, baby, don't you know I can sing, rap, dance in just one show? Cause I can't go, Mr. Sophisticated. As far as I know, ain't nobody free from beginning to end and to beginning. I never used because I'm all about singing 20,000 words. I wouldn't be safe, cause I'm not a gambler. I don't bet, I don't think you know. And baby, while you're this old, the inside is the grizzly, kiss so I thought you get the pressure, get these rap. I thought I had a voice, I was sinister track. I thought it'd be a piece of cake, but it was nothing like that. I guess that's what I give a thing, it ain't that white black. Bitch, just like to get some, and see this level with some, Crystal is like a teacher of his age, to get some with her. Bang, bang, brother, I feel bad, but I ain't committing suicide for no crap. Calling her a crap is just a figure of speech, cause she's an apple, a pear, a plum, and a peach. I thought I had it in the palm of my hand, but man, oh man, if I was grand, I'd bang Roxanne.
Roxanne, Roxanne,
Can't you understand?
Roxanne, Roxanne. I wanna be your man. Roxanne, Roxanne. I wanna be your man.
Episode 11. As usual, I'm your
Well,
moderator,
sit
Black
down.
Magic,
Sit
and
down.
I'm sitting here with our hip hop analyst, your hip hop
I
analyst
said
as
sit
well,
down.
Big Just the Real. U.T.F.O will be our Where They Now segment. And for our hip hop icon report, today we will be covering Cool G.RAP, the cool genius of rap. U.T.F.O was originally comprised of Kango Kid and Dr. Ice. They were the Keystone Dancers, and they were a dance duet before going on to be dancers for Houdini. Eventually, they went on to form U.T.F.O in their hometown of Brooklyn, New York. Now, a lot of people equate U.T.F.O and UFO as a word, but U.T.F.O people stands for Untouchable Force Organization. In 1984, U.T.F.O signed with Select Records. Also in 1984, U.T.F.O released their hit single Roxanne Roxanne, which you just heard. The group's debut album was produced by R&B group Full of Force. Full of Force brought in New York sound and sampling wizard Gary Posner to help create the sounds and the beats for that debut album. This was one of the first instances of the new sampling machine, the emulator used on commercially released records. Now, people take due notice of the fact that you see here in 1984 a sampling machine called the emulator was made. So the name and the brand is really not the point on this point. Notice that a sampling machine was being used in the early 80s. So therefore, as far as sampling, when some people ask if sampling is part of hip hop, I guess it's been. Just take notice of that, people. U.T.F.O consists of the Kango Kid, the educated rapper, Dr. Ice, and Mixmaster Ice. The group's best known single is that which you've heard, which is Roxanne, which is a widely acclaimed hip hop classic. And the song created a sensation on the hip hop scene and inspired numerous answer records. Now, that's why this record is so important, because it came out at a time when battle records weren't necessarily heard of. This records were not necessarily heard of. What they were called was answer records. Now, people, if you want to become a little more enlightened on this, listen. Most notably, they sparked after the answer records Marley Marl and his protege Roxanne Shante, who back then began to answer them, and then that spawned a whole lot of groups coming out with a record and another person to answer it, whatever the case may be on that. In 2008, though, Roxanne Roxanne was ranked number 84 on VH1's 100 Greatest Songs of
What
Hip
was
Hop,
VH1?
Viacom.
Okay.
But it was number 84 on their list.
I feel you.
But it's Viacom, people remember that. So Big Just, U.T.F.O could be considered a one-hit wonder by many, but they did break ground. They were pioneers.
I'm small. Go ahead.
So as far as our Where Are They Now report, I just want to ask you, what's your take on Roxanne in terms of its historical relevance in hip hop?
Oh, Roxanne,
Yeah,
Roxanne.
that single.
I mean, shit, that's a classic, hip hop classic. You know, I mean, one of the more memorable songs from hip hop. You know, lyrically. I mean, I guess they was tearing it up lyrically back then. But you know, I'm gonna veer to the left a little bit with this. You know, they were very simplistic. You know what I mean? But the shit niggas is rapping today is like, so you know, I'm gonna get back to the U.T.F.O, but I want to say like that's why I really don't knock a lot of niggas and shit. Like I fuck with niggas that yeah, I like a particular brand of hip hop, but I don't knock certain of these whack ass niggas or whatever because you know hip hop came. I mean, kind of was from rocking crowds or parties or whatever, rocking niggas. So you know niggas be MCing and shit. You know, I guess certain heads right now with this. I mean, the music is terrible, but you look at the visuals from some of the shit that these cats is putting out, and you know, I guess in this era, they feeling it. You know what I mean? You see them dancing, everybody in unison, and then you see niggas doing all kinds of other shit. It just be like, you know, I guess that's for the times. But I brought that up to say like U.T.F.O was real simplistic. These cats is real simplistic. U.T.F.O was more conceptual though. You know what I mean? At least, you know. I mean, but hip hop was like that then. But I'm saying like to go through from that to the shit we at now, where I mean this shit is really ridiculous. The music that we hearing, niggas is making songs. I mean, it's like one or two or three. It might be five words that a nigga really saying in a verse, like five actual words. You know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy, man. You know, if niggas remember the in the belly, like before DMX was like when he was about to kill the minister, and that whole little montage that they ran through while the minister was saying what he was saying, you know, shit is real. It's like damn, that shit came true. You know what I'm saying? And like I said in one of the earlier episodes, man, like this man, the game is fucked up, man. You know what I'm saying? But old school niggas, you know, they started off like with that kind of vibe, you know what I'm saying, that party vibe, you know, and then when he got the lyrical, that's why them dudes got phased out a little bit because, you know, Biggie was making party records and Tupac and all them, but them niggas could, them old school niggas, I mean, just in my opinion, I mean, it's evident, it ain't even, it's my opinion, but it's still very evident that they couldn't transition. You know what I'm saying? Roxanne is like a novelty song. You know what I'm saying? Is a memorable, one of the more memorable songs in hip hop history. But you know, it ain't all that. But U.T.F.O, I mean, they did what they did. Hopefully, they made careers. Like I heard Kango Kid went back to school or some shit. You know, I don't know with Dr. Ice and no, as educated rapper went back to school. Dr. King of Kids still doing his X, Y, and Z or whatever from what I've heard. You know, but hopefully they got careers. They did on something, maybe writing hooks or making beats or something like because they did have a certain degree of notoriety at a certain time when hip hop was in its like kind. I won't say fetal stages or whatever, but I'll say like when it was like if you had a hit, if you followed up with another hit and one more hit, you might have been solidified. You know what I'm saying? And the hits ain't gotta be bigger than your last hit. It just gotta be a hit. That's something that niggas in the street gonna rock with, and that's boom, you kind of solidified. You know, niggas. I think them niggas U.T.F.O had like what about 4 or 5 albums maybe.
I mean, of relevancy or of substance,
No,
I couldn't
yeah, yeah.
find
Cause
nothing. I'm just saying worth bringing necessarily like to the people. As far as no, seriously,
I feel you.
Roxanne, I feel is a great starting
Remember
point.
Dr. Ice tried to come out on a solo tip?
Brother, I don't remember. No, I was
He
very
had the video and
intrigued as
shit.
far as pulling up UTFO. I knew they went back to the early '80s, Crush Groove and Beat Street and things of that nature. But again, I'm big on, and you know this, I'm big on the behind the musics and the where they nows of all genres, especially of urban music. So UTFO being one of the first, right, hip hop groups ever, you know, I just felt the need to at least do a little digging for the people. And Roxanne was definitely one of, well, the first actual answer record. So that's very important too. They started the answer
Yeah,
records.
shit. Look, they started the answer record. Salt and Pepper got on with a answer record. You know what I'm
I'll
saying?
take it, man, and all that stuff.
No,
Tramp and
no,
all
the
that. All.
Showstopper joint. You know what
What
I'm
was that
saying?
an
When they
answer
was
to?
going, I mean, they was going to have Slick Rick and Dougie Fresh.
To the show. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
So obviously that was an answer to the show.
yeah. That's what really kind of solidified them. You know what I mean? But
That
they
makes
even
sense.
see, like I said, they came in on the answer ticket, but they came in and made hit after hit after hit and solidified their position. UTFO had a big name. That's why we discussing them now, because around them times back when we was young guys, real young guys, damn near babies and shit, them niggas was them supposed to be them niggas, you know what I'm saying? And they was fucking with Full Force. Full Force, I know, still got careers, man. They been produced and wrote shit for Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera's and all them pop motherfuckers. You know, they still in the game. That's why I'm saying I'm hoping that, UTFO got some kind of good fortune, you know what I'm saying, bestowed on them, because shit, they had a million opportunities. And this, I'm not even venturing. I'm just throwing this out there to the people. If anybody could tell me what's up with Charlie Brown and Dinko D and the nigga Milo, somebody please speak on that to me, man. Please, what is, leave comments on that? Please leave some comments on that, because I really want to know, like, because Busta Rhymes is one of the most recognizable hip hop motherfuckers in the world, in the history of hip hop. True icon, legend. I just want to know what happened to us his homeboys, you know what I'm saying? Whatever personal, whatever. Damn, y'all know niggas too. So I'm only saying that because I'm hoping that them brothers got careers also. You know what I'm saying? If you had your toenail in the fucking door of making some major cake and shit, I hope that you really, you know, maximize the opportunity, man. You know what I'm saying? Some kind of way. Fuck it, I gotta manage some bums. I gotta, publish some niggas. You know what I'm saying? Be a publisher. I gotta, you know what I'm saying? Do stupid ass commercials. I mean,
You could be doing that. I mean,
that's what I'm
really.
saying. That's what I'm asking
Right.
the people.
People leave comments. Dinko
Please,
D,
man.
Charlie Brown.
And
Where
Milo.
are they now? Milo, where are they now? You know, especially in the wake of, or in the aftermath per se of Fife Dog. Rest in peace, Fife Dog. His passing. Those guys go back to that era for us, like high school per
Yeah,
se.
man.
These guys, UTFO, go back, like you said, to, for me, grammar school.
Yeah,
You know what
man. That's what I
I
said, man. We was, man. I think I might have been in about the third or fourth
mean?
grade, man, around
Exactly.
that time, man.
So I mean, so I mean, I guess you kind of answered my second question too, since you mentioned them not having longevity, not having a lot of material. I guess you're not a fan of UTFOs. Because I mean, going back to '84, LL Cool J came. But let me just hold up. It's like two part to give you like a preface into why I'm asking. I mean, them coming out in '84 is not really an issue. Why? Because number one, I know you know that LL and Radio and Fat Boys and Run DMC, those guys were out too back then, and we were kids, but we gravitated to hip hop. So I guess though you are not a fan. It's safe to say of UTFO as far as that
I
goes.
mean, hell no, I ain't a fan of UTFO. But do I respect UTFO? But like I said, I always revert back to this, like how Rakim, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I respect what that brother done done. I respect him for what he done. I respect them for making one of the most memorable hip hop songs in the history of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So that was a pebble in the quarry to get hip hop to another level. You know what I'm saying? Fuck it, I threw it a little further with
Well,
this
it has to
joint.
be
You
a
know what I mean?
jewel, not a pebble. It has to be at least a jewel. That's a classic single.
I'm
They
saying,
started the
but
answer record with that single.
how long
You
did the
know.
answer record gimmick last?
Well, I
I
mean, it's
mean,
still going on. It's like
only motherfuckers we know that came from this shit was Who?
Everyone, 50 Cent will respond to someone in a minute. That's an answer. MCs are call and response. No. Let's break it down for the people. MCs are so I'm taking you to the core of it. Like you mentioned, Busy B a lot. You know we were kids with Busy B. That's what I'm saying. Hip hop babies. Yo, Spider D, Busy B. You know those guys. It's like,
Well, hold up, Spank.
go ahead,
Let me say this.
please.
Right, let me say this. I'm gonna say this. I remember listening the other day. I'm listening to some shit, and I want to say this was from Wild Style, the movie, because I told you I was watching this shit. It's something on Netflix about lyrics and all this and the third or whatever. Like KRS on that.
One of the
If
original
you're not
B-boy
an
movies.
MC unless you've come to the South Bronx.
Original B-boy movie. Hip
Yeah.
hop's epitome, y'all.
But wait, let me say
Go
something.
ahead, please enlighten the people
Answer
and
records,
me.
answer records to me, from what I've seen, are a little different from beef records because Busy B and Kool Mo D, when Kool Mo D said it, that was a beef record. That was a battle record. You know what I mean? Or a battle verse. You know what I mean? And I mean, I'm looking at the niggas like, cause they was showing like, yo, and Kool Mo D. I mean, like, even though Kool Mo D was kind of in that the vein of wearing them, leather outfits and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? You know, he still was kind of like I mean, he is a hip hop nigga. You know, they all hip hop brothers, but I think the game kind of baffled him, throw them off a little bit.
So Kumo Dia.
A little bit. You never seen Kumo D like really rocking no like in a video, like just looking regular. You know what I'm saying? When you think of the Wild Wild West or what was the joint? How You Like Me Now? You know what I mean? He always had on an outfit. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of made him like not really regular. You know what I'm saying? Like. Well, you see a nigga like, yo, because when the game start transitioning, like, dude, we ain't believing you on no corners talking to no niggas and nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? You know when the game changed from like really all the outfit shit was out there. It was outfit, it was Coogis and Versace down to the socks and all that shit. So it wasn't really, but then your street cred had to be right though. You know what I'm saying? But I'm only saying that about Kumo D. You know what I mean? Because he really is, in my opinion, from just my limited knowledge on certain things, uh, created the beef record. Now the answer record, I mean, I think that was kind of a little more lighthearted. Even though it was like a call thing, like you calling out somebody, but where like Kumo D tried to really get at a nigga's ass though. You know what I'm saying? And that was real, man. Like. I'm talking about like lyrical shit though, like trying to really get at a nigga. It wasn't no, girl, you look like you got a fat ass, bitch. Let me kiss your ass. All that. I mean, that was the times and that was cool.
Cut That Hero, Get With The Zero is what sort of record? What sort of record is that for the people? This is hip hop.
That was a hot song though.
Well, but see, this is the point. As you're talking, it's like
U.T.F.O should have transitioned to that.
no. It's not about the transition. It's more so about because the people need to know. Because you make a great point. Like when we were talking about gangster rap, for example. The next guy we're talking about, I found information in several places giving him credit for starting mafioso rap. Now, that's jumping ahead, but I'm giving the people and yourself a glimpse at that. So these terms are very important because to me, like mainstream artists, commercial artists, crossover artists, and I know being a hip hop junkie and baby, right, a student of the game, I'm saying you mentioned that they had outfits and things, right? And I make note, and I was smiling because, like you said, the game may have transitioned them. Okay, that's just like Kobe Bryant retiring. At a point, per se, everyone has their end. Emmett Smith, whatever. But we need to know.
MCN should be Alzheimer's or deaf or.
Well, I feel you on that with KRS, but we need to point out the Four Tops, the New Edition group, and things because this clearly U.T.F.O are older men. Clearly Chuck D, clearly KRS-One. Hold on, slow down. My point is U.T.F.O like Kumo D, like Ice-T. They're older men. Ice-T used to wear the leather pants back in like Crush Groove. If you pay attention, hold on, the goggles, the breaking, the b-boy look. Ice-T was wearing the
b-boy look.
Right, but that's this. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde wore suits. Point is,
neither one
hold on. Raekwon said the uniform do mean a lot. It's a different era. You right. Listen, Cormega and them guys, like I always tell you, like I like to tell the people, every time they comment on my Twitter, every time, Cormega,
So keep in the
Nas,
comments,
all
too.
those guys, AZ, all those
Please.
guys that we happen to kind of be contemporaries with. When we were rocking crowds here in Buffalo, New York,
True.
big stages, they were rocking. And it's the same thing. We were wearing polo rugbies as our uniform. We were wearing
Army fatigues.
Eastlands.
Yeah,
We were
yeah,
wearing
definitely.
Wallabies. We were wearing
True
gold
lit.
jewelry. This is actual
True
facts,
lit.
people.
True lit.
History. The Ruffalo Chronicles, I like to call them. So my point is, as far as this with the outfits, people, y'all need to know those people back then had style. Our analysts do an eloquent job and an expert job of covering the styles of rap and but these guys come with the t-shirts. That's fine. They come with the jersey. Those guys came with suits back then. Those guys had dance routines. Hold on. Big Daddy, Scoob, and Scrap people, they would coordinate their efforts and their gear.
And
Big
that,
Daddy, Scoob, and Scrap had their dance routines down. So point is, sometimes that appearance back then to me was necessary. Number one, to get them indoors back then in the early 80s. Things was different. It wasn't even a crack era in the early 80s, technically, people.
nah.
So those guys, not just U.T.F.O, Houdini had their outfits, Bambaataa had their Parliament had their outfit. At that time, back in that different era back then, those pioneers, they seem to have more style. Like you said, not swag. Remember you said we don't have
Yeah.
swag?
No, we
We
got
have flavor.
flavor.
That's our era. They had style of dress. They had a chicness about them. All of them. Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, all of them. Heavy D, all of them. They had their routines down. They had their apparel. Remember, here wear the Coca-Cola sweaters and Pepsi stuff and the flavorful stuff. Flavorful stuff, Heavy D. So, but that was a little different era. That's when Run DMC and those guys had made it watch. They had the Blazers, people, but they had some shells on with no shoestrings in them. Show the rebellious nature, hood niggas, per se, right? They got the leather pants on like Eddie Murphy, but they freaking Adidas sweatshirt with it. You know what I mean? Unlike Bill Cosby, they didn't show that class like Russell Simmons doesn't. But they could have. That's one thing I love about the style that they brought to the game. Now, Dana, Slick Rick, loved it. Impeccable styles.
True.
Impeccable
But their
styles.
style was a little more.
Who's Slick Rick and Dana?
Yeah.
Them boys was players, so you
A
don't do
little,
that. You already
a
know.
little,
Don't hurt me.
but
Them
I'm
boys
saying
was,
like a little more hood though. Like
well,
they wasn't all
the appearance.
U.T.F.O and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
No, they
And,
had swag,
yeah,
kind of.
no, they had
I'm saying that,
flavor,
but
not swag.
what they was going to like, kind of why I said kind of swag in the sense of they was like pimps, kind of, with the man purse with the gun in it. Then they had the mystique behind that. You know what I mean? Then they wearing furs, right? Slick Rick, remember they were wearing furs, right? So, but then they wearing slacks and ballies and British
I
Walkers,
mean,
different. I mean,
but
them
that
boys
was
was just
that was
different.
that
You know what I'm
was really
saying?
the dress of the hood
Those
though at the
two,
time
no,
though.
no.
Like not for the hood, but like for the successful niggas in the hood. Cause crack was big when Dougie Fresh was eating good. Like crack was getting. I mean, I was staying in Baltimore then, so you know what I mean. Niggas was rocking
About
like that.
87, 88, 89. That's when crack just was hitting.
I
That's
mean,
when
but
Reagan was
shit.
just in. It was just hitting then. That's
Okay,
why 94, 95,
I'll
our
say
era
that.
caught that
I'll
part.
say that, but I'm talking about like
They were the epitome of players. Every man wasn't dressing like them. Like Crockett and Tubbs didn't even necessarily dress quite. Crockett and Tubbs, historically, people, it did. If you look at Crockett, and they were cool guys. They didn't dress like them.
nah,
Them boys, Slick Rick and Dana Dane, them was some sharp and watch. Dougie didn't even quite dress like them.
nah, he
He was a
didn't.
little watered with that Harlem style he had.
Yeah,
But them two, upscale chic. They walk Clyde Frazier's of hip hop with the dress.
definitely,
You know what I mean?
definitely.
But as far as that, so we pretty much with the U.T.F.O. I mean, I guess everything speaks for so for none. Would you consider one of the greatest hip hop groups ever? No, no consideration even. Honorable mention.
Honorable mention.
Okay, well we'll leave it
I
alone,
mean,
people. We don't.
let me pose a question to you.
Yes, please go ahead.
Goody Mob. You've
Yes,
heard of Goody Mob, right?
of course. Dungeon Family.
Yeah. Do you think that UTFO's catalog is better than?
No, no, sir. Sorry for not even letting them get it all the way out. People, of course not. Big Just the Real, the Dungeon Family are an
Now, I'm not
anomaly.
that. We talking about the
I'm saying the goody. Well, I'm
specific
saying the
group
goody
in the
mob.
Dungeon
You know
Family.
what I'm saying? The goody mob. Because I'm excited. Like when we were talking about Jay Prince in the other episode, it's like the goody mob is a very, very unique and eccentric, phenomenal group. You see what I mean? That they carved their own niche out, and you know that. That's why you know I get excited every time we talk about. And we're gonna cover them in length in the near future, people. But no, no, sir, it's not even a question. Not a single to a whole catalog, not even a question. You see what I mean?
Man.
U.T.F.O to me, in my mind, is defined by Roxanne Roxanne, which was the
That's it.
first answer. Think meaning set up the platform for that. Come to find out, and it was a dynamic single at that time. You see what I mean? When we were little kids.
I always wonder who did the AJ what? All things hip hop.
Episode 11.
Underground report. Underground report. Underground icons. Underground icons. Cool G.
Why your face all sweaty? The cool genius of rap was born July 20th, 1968 in Corona, Queens. Nathaniel Cool G.RAP Wilson began his career in the mid-1980s as one half of the group Kool G.RAP and DJ Polo, and as a member of the Juice Crew. In an interview with the Source magazine recently, Kool G.RAP states, growing up in Corona was a little like Harlem. It wasn't that hard for a nigga to be influenced by the street life type of mentality, Cool G says. I was like 15 years old. My Dukes couldn't dress a nigga no more. And at an age, you want a little money in your pocket. That's what gets us all material possessions, he says in a Source interview. A nigga got caught up in that mentality, he says. Niggas started selling drugs at a certain point and all that shit. It it was what was going on in the streets, he says. Eventually, all my friends got smoked. Everybody was dropping. All my friends started packing burners every day. We was wild shorties, G.RAP says. This was Kool G.RAP's growing up process. However, from this quote, many of the people who hated him, he was a gangster rapper. He started to, many should now have a better understanding maybe of his edgier street lyricism as kind of like if we remember rather the backstory to Cormega, it was kind of like similar in the sense that, you know, even 50 Cent's like when people know their backstories, it's pretty hard. In 1989, Kool G.RAP and Polo released their debut album, Road to the Riches, on then prominent hip hop label Cold Chillin' Records. That particular album is notable in that it essentially set off the mafioso rap trend with the title track Road to the Riches, which received strong rotation on the TV show Yo MTV Raps and was later featured on the classic hip hop radio station Playback FM from the game Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Most of the songs, however, are not crime related on the album. Other popular songs included It's a Demo and Poison. In 1998, the album was selected as one of the Source's 100 Best Rap Albums. Source's 100 Best Rap Albums. This
Of all
album,
time?
yeah, of the Sources in 1998, that was their strong consideration in their 100. Now is 2008 is 10 years. You figure 16 years, maybe they have a different list, you know, or but I haven't found a new list. I don't know if they've updated it as far as the 100. This album and their later two albums was Wanted, Dead or Alive, which was in 1990. That album featured the urban classic Streets of New York, which was produced by Large Professor, actually. And their 1992 release of Live and Let Die are highly regarded and considered hip hop classics. Eventually, in 1993, G.RAP parted ways with DJ Polo in pursuit of a solo career. In 1995, G.RAP started a solo career with the album 456, which featured production from Buck Wild of DITC. So peace to Buck Wild, and guest appearances from Nas, MF Grimm, and B1. It has been his most commercially successful record, reaching number 24 on the U.S. Billboard 200 album chart. Hambone, Hampton's in the house. People, yes, Hampton, it
83.
did reach number 24. Coogee Rap's 456 album. I think that was a great accomplishment for him. This was followed by Roots of Evil in 1998, which was an underground, you know, critically acclaimed album. In 2007, G.RAP released Half a Clip on Chinga Chang Records, featuring production from, among others, DJ Premier, Marley Marl. In 2012, G.RAP formed his own label, Full Metal. Yeah? In addition, in later years, G.RAP's interest grew to extend outside of hip hop. He stated in further interviews that his desire, you know, began to expand to the realms of writing movie scripts, actually, an ambition taken in for a few years as he sought out various collaborators. So I guess that's kind of like the Spike Lee when he was looking for money or whatever. I don't know if he's looking, to some way score some
That's what
production.
production. I mean, a lot of times with that some. I mean, from shit that I've seen, uh, those what producers are. Like the producers are the motherfuckers that put their money up. You know, you get
Because he's saying
production.
collaborators. Maybe it's he's so including that is the producers, but also some investors as well. Meaning, if you put some money
Yeah, the
up,
producers is the
well,
investors. So
you know how there's always silent partners, investors. It's the producers. You right covering that, but even the producers, if you're willing, for example, to give Herb Weinstein's, this is a mythical name, $10 million in his production of his next movie, that's going to take $100 million. I'm quite sure he'd take it. That's what I'm saying. I wonder if this applies, meaning maybe me and you could put some money together too and help him bring a movie out and get some dividend or some passive income in the future. You know what I'm saying? I'm just wondering. Also, Big Just Hamp and people, Coogee Rap has talked of getting into the clothing industry. He wants to do his clothing line at a point, you know. But with no further ado, Big Just, what do you feel about Coogee Rap and what keeps him so relevant in the hip hop community? Because you speak a lot as far as in our literacy section and services portions about longevity. He has longevity, and I know you know that. But what do you think allows him to have such longevity?
he can evolve. He evolves with the times.
Coogee?
Cool G, like
Okay.
lyrically, conceptual. See, he was on the cusp of when, like Big Daddy, getting his. In my opinion, this is only my opinion. Big Daddy is getting his just due a little bit right now. Like he's starting to be able to be like accepted back in the hip hop circles again. You know what I'm saying? With Cool G transition, you know, like Cool Mo D was hardcore, but Cool G Rap was motherfucking hardcore and street. You know what I'm saying? So street kind of took over the hip hop culture. You know what I'm saying? And if you ain't had no street shit or no street ties or your street credibility was kind of in question, you wasn't that nigga. So Cool G Rap always evolved in, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say he pioneered no gangster rap, but I'll say mafioso rap,
Mafioso rap, it
mafioso
says.
rap. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like that imagery based crime rap shit. You know, that's his thing. You know what I'm saying? Well, that's the realm that he kind of controlled, and that's been one of the more profitable, more like exploited genres of hip hop. Mafioso or slash gangster rap. You know what I'm saying? So, that's
Probably
that.
the most profitable,
Yeah,
considering Nas Escobar and the Wu Gambinos have taken it to this plateaus that even Coogee Rap, I'm quite sure, would admit, despite his nurturing Nas. Nas has taken that mafiosi. Nas Escobar took mafioso to like just a huge height. You know what I'm saying? And the Wu Gambinos to, oh my God. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I think he became like the springboard for it. You know what I mean? You always have to have your pioneers, people. You got to remember that. Just because you had Kobe Bryant or LeBron, don't forget about your Dr. J's of hip hop, like we mentioned before.
Let me
Go
say this.
ahead,
This
Big
one
Jeff.
thing I want to say. The one thing that's real too is that nigga
Coogee?
Cool G, like you said, he's a pioneer and all this that, and the third. He fucking he able to you know get love from the youth or the niggas up on them. Whereas some old school brothers, I mean, they getting the accolades, but like niggas ain't trying to do no song with certain niggas. That was the whole controversy with them white niggas out in Seattle, Ryan Lewis and Ryan Macklemore, whatever they names is, in downtown shit. Cause they put, I think like Kumo D was in a joint, Big Daddy, Grandmaster Caz might have been in it. And they was saying like, yo, none of these other niggas was gonna do that shit for us. You know what I'm saying? So
Did they use the term nigga?
I mean, maybe I don't know, rappers, black motherfuckers that's supposed to be them niggas. You
No,
know
it
what I'm
makes a
saying?
huge difference
It
because
took
number
some white
one,
niggas.
Ryan Lewis, I believe, is if
It's the producer.
is a no. I'm saying as far as mulatto or if he's African American descent. You know what I mean? So him
You talking
saying that
about Ryan
word,
Leslie?
Ryan Leslie. I said Ryan Lewis. Thank you.
No, but Ryan Lewis. I'm talking about the dude that's with
Macklemore.
Macklemore. Ryan Leslie is an independent
Oh, okay.
contractor.
Well, that's completely different. Are either of those guys African American brothers in that Ryan Lewis Macklemore
Ryan
guy?
Leslie is. At
Ryan.
least he looked like a nigga.
Okay, well, that's what I'm saying.
He's
I
like,
knew I've seen pictures of those guys, and point is, I can't see, Macklemore making that statement, and it being
nah.
fine with
Somebody like them
people.
old heads like Kumo D
Okay.
and I want to say maybe Kaz and I know Big Daddy was vocal about it. You know what I'm saying? But because they were saying like that Uptown Anthem, whatever that shit is called. I don't even know what the song is called, but they were saying that was like a real hip hop song, and it kind of made them old heads feel good to be recognized or whatever. But you know, I don't believe if you're not doing shit like we recognize you for your old shit. We gonna pay homage or whatever. But at the same time, Jadakiss said this shit a long time ago in a rhyme. Like yo, he said, "Who the fuck?" I mean, I'm not really quoting. I'm just summing up what I took from it. What the fuck? Who's talking about some old niggas that had it before? Like, and now they some washed up bums, or they not, still reputable in the community. You know what I'm saying? And hip hop is our community, so if like you ain't doing nothing noteworthy, like to inspire and inspire us, like, and we only got your old exploits, like who the fuck, like come on, dude, you know what I mean? But Cool G, he basically, like I said, he at the the motherfucking core of that shit, the transition game. I'm gonna say as far as he gonna always have a lane. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Great
I
way to
mean, I'm
put it.
talking about like a real lane. Like,
Transitioning is a great way to put it.
yeah,
Transition lane. I like how you put it. Hey, you heard it first. Our analyst dubbed it the transition lane, and gang. You know what I mean? But that leads me into I got one of our main premises because he's a barometer. Um,
and I'm
do
out
you
there right
like
now.
Coogee
So
rap more than you like Rakim? Do you personally? Now, people, listen. This is for personally. Who do you like more between the two of those artists?
I mean, I can't really say because I really like Rakim. Like, like I said, I do like Rakim. I know it seemed like I done probably talk bad about the brother, like, and I haven't. It's just like, he doesn't inspire me anymore. But like, I like what he represent as a individual human. When I'm talking about mind, body, soul, like, he emit a certain kind of energy that's very respectable. But Cool Cool G, like I respect him on his
We talking about their music and their
No,
artistry.
I'm saying like I'm talking about why I respect him, like
No, no,
why like I
I
can't
feel
like
that, but I'm
really well, no,
saying for the
let me say what I'm
people,
saying. I can't really like because I mean even his music, like I said, he says insightful things, Rakim, like things that I've
which
heard.
one of them do you play more?
Hold
Which
up,
albums
can
do you
let
have?
me explain.
Answer
I
the
don't really. I
question.
mean,
We don't need you to pontificate on
I
too
will
many things.
probably
Still,
play. I will probably play more Cool G,
uh-huh.
but I'm saying I probably would identify more with you know and I can't even say identify. I'm gonna say like kind of Rakim say things, has said things in the past that have been like parallel with your, like when you start studying stuff. Like I mean, there's just certain things like you kind of connect the dots to some things that this brother has said in the past, and like I mean, like I'm not really inspired like by nothing he's doing right now, but I will probably listen to more Cool G because, like I said, he more is my vibe like as an everyday person, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm
Who,
saying
Cool
he
G?
Cool G, I'm saying I'm talking about when I say an everyday person, like, you know, um Cool G is trying to be successful in life. I'm not saying Rakim is not, but like Cool G just I mean, the hustle and bustle of life, like, he kinda represent that to me with Rakim, like I said, the higher self type, you know, dude. Yeah, I mean,
So let me ask you.
you
Let me
wanna
ask
have
you
both
to
of them in
not beat
control,
a
like
dead
yo.
horse as far as the people we don't
I
want to
already
beat it.
answered the
So
question.
Big L and Nas, who do you like more? Let's be simple.
Definitely Nas.
Definitely, hands down. Okay, now
He
why do
didn't
you
say
like
he was the
Nas more
devil's
than Big
son. Come
L
on,
as
bro.
far as musically speaking? We ain't talking about okay, because number one, you and I both
He
know.
said he was the devil's son, guy.
Well, okay, so that's why you like Nas more than Big L as far as overall. Meaning, when you look at like the
I
Ultramagnetic
like Big L
MCs, hold on,
too. I
slow down
like
for the
Big L
people.
too. I like
It's
Big
a
L.
critical breakdown. You know that MC people comprised of spitting lyrics. Now we can look at your contents, right? Any analyst, anyone who's gonna process this information, any of us hip hop babies, any of us who say this is running through our blood, we suppose if I say, for example, people a Big Daddy fan, we gotta say, okay, well, this is why Long Live the Kane or this album, this song, that song. But yeah, I could say I like Big Daddy because he dressed well. Point is, the we gotta stay on the art. Okay, I can say who had the best cover
They
art.
equally great then,
Hmm?
brother. Like yo, I'm saying equally great. I'm not saying that Cool G is really
No, no, I'm not. That was my last question. I was going to
no
ask you,
no
do you put him in your top 10? That's my last question. No, that was my last.
you asked me who did I like
Listen, slow down. That was my last question. You jumping ahead. Slow down. Take a breath. My point was, as far as you're very confident and clear, usually, right, when it comes to, like you asked me about the Goody Mob. I don't listen to the Goody Mob much. It's easy for me to say that. However, I completely respect him. You mentioned Busta Rhymes. I never really listened to Busta Rhymes people on my own time, meaning when it's time for me to press play on YouTube, when it's time for me to find something I want to get on Deezer or Spotify, I don't search for him. I'll search for Cormega before I search for Busta Rhymes. That's clear. So when it comes to heavy rotation, for the people to know what heavy rotation means, people, is what's being played on the radio, what's being played in your playlist. That's heavy. So now, if it's simple.
I answered the
Who would
question.
you play more? That's
I
all I was
already
asking.
answered. I told you
Oh, so you
I
said
probably
because you said probably, but
I'm
okay,
more or less
definitely when you said
play
Nas Big L,
more
but
Cool G. Oh,
okay,
okay. I will go back to the Cool G Rakim.
but
I'll
that's
play
where I
more,
was over. But you said
but
definitely to know Nas Big L. See, it's clear. That's clear for you, but
yeah,
not so much. See, this is what we try to be. Not so much, right? With the Rakim Coogee rap.
for the respect, like for
Didn't ask you that, but I understand that. But
okay.
as far
I
as the
mean,
music, because we sticking as far as album for album,
I'm
hold on,
saying
lyric for
musically
lyric.
the respect. Like yo, Rakim has said enough where it's like yo, damn, all right, you
No,
know
I
what I
feel that,
mean.
but I didn't ask you that.
But
You
Cool
know, we have
G
to
is saying enough,
juxtapose. We
said
have
enough,
to
and is still
right,
saying
and we have to
enough.
compare and
You know
contrast
what I mean?
always. You know that, and I know a lot of times it's tough. You know, I know that. I know you the face. So a lot of times, I know you don't want nobody to throw no stones at you, no eggs. I know you don't want no comments,
It ain't even about
but
that.
you know darn
I want the comments.
right, that we have to say, well, UTFO and hey, Fat Boys were a group, right? And I didn't ask you that, but for the people, this still is one of our services is to provide light on that. They're both groups. Kid and Play is a group now. I ask a person or person surveys you, us, whomever. Hey, which group do you guys like more between the Fat Boys and Kid and Play? Simple. Oh, I like this group more. Why? For this reason, that reason. Now, if they ask me why, for this reason, that reason. Simple. Who do you play more? If you want to ask between Ice Cube and Snoop. Hey, I play Ice Cube more. Now, if you say why, for this reason. But what I'm saying to you is, because I was going to ask you about the top 10 question, that's very, is my very last question, but you jumped to that. That's fine. So now that we established that, I need to still ask you this,
Well,
though.
hold up before you, because
Go,
I
go
still
ahead.
was saying basically, you know, Cool G.RAP is still making basically,
I asked you, how is he so relevant? Right. You covered all of them very greatly.
but I
It
want
was
to,
just a little snag between the Rakim and the Coogee Rap thing, which you cleared up. I understand and respect all that. On the question, though, was do you like G-Rap more than Rakim? If so, why? You know the
well,
format,
I
how we
said
do.
I could really
And
answer
that's
that.
understandable. I
Who
said
do
we
I
cleared
listen to
that.
more, or
Hmm?
who,
I
like
didn't
I
hear you,
can't,
huh?
who do I listen to more?
Right. As far as the heavy
Like
rotation and things
you
of that
go
nature.
when I go get some Rakim shit, it's like his greatest hits. It ain't like I want to get like his and I want when I say his greatest hits, I mean because this is a couple like probably joints, underground joints that then came out that's the high. And I'm talking about back then. I ain't talking about nothing now that they grabbed me. But Cool Rap, like I said, with the Necro, the Butcher nigga, or whatever the nigga name is, white boy or whatever that dude is, Puerto Rican. I don't know what he is, but he kind of nice too. You know what I'm saying? He one of them niggas, Party Artie or Ill Bill. I think Ill Bill, brother or some shit. You know, but the nigga, Coogie's still making some shit that's that thing. So and when I say it's that thing, it's like yo, you know what I mean? You going on like word. You know what I'm saying? Like I can feel this shit. This shit
So
hot right
between the
here.
two, okay, now another question arises on that. So it's clear that Coogee, and there's nothing wrong, people, with these questions or answers. Coogee is more relevant than Rakim right now. Is it clear, or is that clear as far as
In my opinion,
well, even the AZ, Ghostface, and Coogee Rap did the 36 seasons per se. Like,
yeah.
Coogee Rap, like you said, Necro and Coogee Rap. I guess technically it's obvious. It's should people. It should perhaps be obvious, right? If you guys go check this Coogee Rap brother out that we're covering today, our hip hop icon of the day. He's an extremely relevant guy. He's been relevant for 20 some odd years. Like a KRS when he goes back to the Juice Crew and that. So that part's clear.
29 years, man.
Thank
Since
you.
'87.
So final question is for me to you, for the people, is G-Rap one of the best lyricists ever? See, that's something that should be poignant, easy, boom.
Is he one of the best
That's
what?
lyricist ever
Best lyricists. Let
in
me
the
see.
history of hip hop civilization, the civilized hip hop world.
Let me think on that one. I don't really even got to think on that. Definitely one of the best lyricists to ever spit. You know what I'm saying? But in my opinion, I feel that uh, Cool G, in my opinion, one of the illest niggas that ever spit, but had limited range. You know what I'm saying? Like great lyricist, great flow, and I guess that's just basically staying in your lane. But hip hop is hip hop, and it's like yo, as an MC, like I feel like an MC is like a Jedi. You know what I mean? This nigga's like a Green Lantern. This nigga is all throughout the universe. You know what I'm saying? So he can create what he, you know what I'm saying? He got special powers. You know what I'm saying? But Coogee on his little terra firma or whatever, he did what he do or whatever, and that's cool because like we respect or I respect that particular lane, but at the same time, I want to see him. I would like to see him expound But I remember reading an article, and because he said he was Muslim, you know what I'm saying, and he said that Allah never really took him to that level, like or made him inspired him to really put the knowledge or to really exercise his mind in a different manner than what he was doing as far as rapping goes. You know what I'm saying? So, but I would have liked to see him do that. I think that's the only knock on Coogee. Like, you know, that's why I'm a firm believer. Like, KRS is like the best to me, but like G.RAP is like my. I don't have a favorite rapper, but you know what I mean. Like, I like his
Oh, so you
music
said you
the
don't have
most.
a favorite rapper.
I don't really have a favorite. Like KRS will probably be considered my favorite rapper because I think he's the most diverse like artist, and I think Nas is and I always put Nas and Tupac and Scarface kind of at that number two. Like it's always hard, but like because I'm a New York nigga or East Coast nigga, I kind of vibe with Nas. Like it seemed like we came up in the same kind of even though I liked I love Pop and I love Scarface. You know what I'm saying, but dude was like more like just like a regular nigga from around my way. Like, Scarface and niggas was real niggas and shit. And you could feel the reality in they shit because it was realities that we all faced or lived in our communities, the ghetto. You know what I'm saying? But, that was, this nigga's from New York. We from New York. Even though it's upstate New York, even though it's you know what I'm saying, Western New York, whatever. We from the second, largest city in the state. So, what I mean? I could kind of vibe out with his shit a little more. But KRS because he kind of to me set the precedence as far as being like he can do it all. You know what I'm saying? And like rap about a blunt, rap about a gun, rap about titties, rap about education, rap about being a crack pipe or some shit, or what I'm saying, and how that shit fuck with somebody's mind. You know what I mean? That brother was just all around the board with it. But I definitely think Coogee is one of the greatest lyricists, for the genre of music that he make, and for
Well, I'm
hip
saying
hop, for
overall.
even for hip hop, even for hip
Right,
hop.
overall, that's what I'm
But
asking.
as far as
Period.
like yeah, I definitely feel that. But like, let me just go on a little bit. I think that, like I said, I would like to have seen him like or seen now, create something. And I mean, it could be reality based, but like something outside of where is outside of what I would consider, and it's just my opinion, his comfort zone. Like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I know niggas might live that 24/7, but I'm just assuming that because I do this, that everybody else should do this or does this. It's like think outside. Like, if you super 100 killer man all day, like I'm quite sure when you taking a shit, you probably think. I mean, you might think about money and killing 99.9% of the time while you taking your shit. But like at one point you're gonna have another thought or something. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying as far as like an MC, who I consider like a Jedi, Green Lantern or whatever, it should be universal. I think like an MC should be able to create something like that. And I think that's what Coogee need to do. Like take us somewhere different. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna leave that there. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think though. But is he one of the greatest lyricists in hip hop? Definitely one of the greatest lyricists in hip hop. I don't think nobody could really fuck with him. But and when I say fuck with him, it's like he up there. There's niggas up there with him, certain heads. There's a few heads up there, just a couple. But like yo, you can't fuck with him. You can't fuck with it. But y'all can. You know what I mean? It's gonna be hard to
Therefore,
tell.
people, he's one of the greatest of
Definitely.
all time. Read through, Big Justice Real's political correctness and his accurateness and acuteness, and
Nah, man, I ain't being
and
politically
know,
correct, man.
Cool G, you're one of the greatest of all time. Any way they slice it. Until we meet again.
Nah, listen. All things hip hop. We ending, I suppose, right
Next
now. Next episode
episode.
12. Leave comments, please.